dawn of the American Revolutionary War of 1776. A tangled web of conspiracy spans North America. In the war of survival, it does not matter what your creed, color, culture, or gender is. All stand together. Thomas Paine's common sense is held aloft in every rebel patriot's hand as they take up arms against the British Empire. But as the revolution has begun, something far more mysterious stirs. Agents of the occult entreat both the Continental Army and Loyalist Redcoats. Freemasons conspire in the city of brotherly love. Maryland is in the throes of a witch hunt by the Knights Templar. Amid the chaos, other grim fairy tales have emerged. Reports of witches have been seen in the Great Dismal Swamp. Indigenous Sachems say the devils called Manitou walk among the living. Flesh-gobbling ghouls have been tunneling beneath Boston. The Pine Barrens of New Jersey are haunted by what the locals call the Leeds Devil. And worse still, an ancient enemy whose name is never uttered aloud seeks to consume all, loyalists and rebels alike. In this game, most people have either chosen to deny the supernatural or rationalize it away. A rare few accept it for what it is and act. You are among those heroes and are destined for greatness or death. Welcome to Flames of Freedom, where your grim and perilous tale hangs in the balance.
Hello again, everybody. We are back with our first episode of Flames of Freedom, Boston Besieged. I am your historian today, Anna, also known as Nymeria941. I use she, they pronouns, and I am joined today by my fantastical cast. So let's go around, introduce ourselves, tell us who you are, what character you're playing. We will go around and start with Lydia.
Hello everyone, I'm Lydia, Half-First Armit, and I am so happy to be finally playing this game. Can't wait to do some more Zweihander Flames of Freedom. Mary was my first foray into Encounter Roleplay, and I couldn't be happier to be back for it. Today, I'm playing Isabel Mackenzie, who just got across the big pond, across the ocean, to the New World. She's from Scotland originally, because that's the only accent I can do. And she's a herbalist. For once, I'm not going full edgelord and instead play a healer of sorts. So, yay.
Because we all know that healers don't have edgelordy bones in their bodies whatsoever.
That was the
right.
of sorts. That was the of sorts caveat.
Okay. And right below you, we have Nikki. How's it going?
Hi, I'm so glad to be here on your channel this time. This is gonna be so great. I'm so excited. Hi, I'm Nikki. You guys can find me at the Big DM on Twitter. It's up above. I use she, her pronouns, and I will be playing Felicity Cross. Just a down-home girl that sees the occult and spirits in the lack, and I also got a donkey. His name's Hans.
Just donkey named Hans.
Yep. Named after my grandfather.
Oh, God. The extended universe tree is going off in my brain so hard right now. The question that we will all be desiring to answer, Felicity, is, do you see dead people? We'll find out, I guess.
We'll find out.
And then right below me, we have Jeff. How are you there, friend?
I'm doing great. I'm super excited to play this game with you fine folks. Today, I will be playing Jacob Allen, a troubled man of God who He's been in Boston for a while now, trying to escape not a shadowy past, but literally the shadows themselves. So we're going to see how that plays out.
Yes, we are indeed.
Oh, and I don't have a donkey. No donkey. Sans livestock. Just throwing
We
it
can't
out.
all be special.
Don't give the chat ideas. They will want to make it happen. And then down to my right, we have Fen. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Dandy.
I will be
Tell us a little
playing-
about yourself, who you're playing.
Yeah, absolutely. So I am Fenway Jones, the teen DM, and I will be playing Wynne Hamilton. She is just got out of like the young stage of everything. She's 22, and she is what is known as a counterfeiter. Although she doesn't tell most people that. She just tells most people that she's a purveyor of goods. It'll be interesting. She's not running from the shadows. She actually quite embraces them.
Very nice. I'm the first. You're muted of the stream. Off to a great start. And last but certainly not least, we have D. Hello there, friend.
Oh, that's me. Hi. I'm D,
Yeah.
or River, or Devo, whatever you feel is appropriate. And tonight I will be playing Pharaoh Mason, an urbane diplomat from the French territories in the south, up north to handle some business, as it were.
Excellent. Excellent. So before we get started, want to do a quick shout out and thank you to Chaotic Story for those 100 bits. That's so very kind of you to come on in and support the stream. Also wanted to thank our fantastic sponsors. We are, of course, sponsored by Andrews McMeel Publishing, which publishes Flames of Freedom, along with all of the other Zweihander games. We're sponsored this season as well by Modifius, that make Achtung Cthulhu, if you were watching the show that we had before here. Also Axon Punk, I Hunt, and Defiant. You can see all of those shows that use those various TTRPG systems coming up later this week on our channel live, or either by watching them on YouTube. And once again, if you are joining us from YouTube, hello future travelers, let me know, how is the future? Do the rebels win the war, or do we stay British subjects forever? Only one way to find out. So I think with that, we will go ahead and settle into the beginning of Act 1 of Boston Besieged. Your story starts in Boston. Supplies are low, conditions are bad, and tensions are high. The summer smallpox outbreak has given way to winter, and Boston is bracing for more problems, with the British deeply entrenched in the city. Although most rebels have fled, the Redcoats are not above handing out brutal summary justice to anyone they suspect of having rebel leanings, or to anyone who crosses them. Although you five are surrounded by terrified townsfolk and brutal redcoats, your sympathies may tend to lie towards the rebels who have gathered from all over the 13 colonies in response to the actions earlier this year at Lexington and Concord. You have quickly learned to keep those views to yourself, however, and to present a smiling face to the redcoats and the loyalist spies. To talk less, if you will. Now, when our story begins, a rebel sympathizer named Henry Jones has a need for assistance, and he is willing to pay you well. Your news is a bit short on particulars, but you can rest assured that Jones is a good patriot, and this is not yet another one of the traps set by loyalist agents. And tonight, you find yourselves at a tavern called the Sign of the Maiden, here to meet up with your contact, a man known as Philip the Short. This is a large and ramshackle place. The Sign of the Maiden is a favorite haunt for sailors and dock workers. It is also known as a rallying point for the rebel group, the Sons of Liberty, largely because of its proximity to the wharf. And as such, it has been raided by the Redcoat patrols more than once. They usually pass the tavern at least once or twice an hour, especially at night. But their show of force has not intimidated the Maiden's patrons as they had hoped. It has, however, made them very cautious and suspicious of newcomers. Harold Winchester, a leader of the Freemasons' agents, also keep an eye on the place, with a second reputation known or suspected only to a few. It is said to be a place where you can sometimes find workers of magic. And that is where we find ourselves at the beginning of this adventure. So we are in the Sign of the Maiden Tavern. What are you all doing, and what do you look like?
You said it's
well-
winter, correct?
Yes. Yes, it is.
You started talking first, Dee. Go ahead.
I think probably just stepping into the Sign of the Maiden, fashionably late as always, stands this about 6'1" person of color, black skin, frock of curly hair, this long dark purple coat that's probably got a bit of a dusting of snow across it, and circle-framed gold-rimmed glasses with tie-dye lenses throughout the center. Pharaoh sort of just looks around for anyone that they may recognize amongst the patrons.
Yeah, and most of the patrons appear to be porters, sailors, carpenters, the type of people that work with their hands a lot around ships. Many of them seem a bit disgruntled, just sort of hunched over their drinks, grumbling about being out of work ever since the British have blockaded the city. The atmosphere is a little more tense than jovial tonight.
So sitting
How about
by
you,
the
Jacob?
fire, yeah, sitting by the fire is a older gentleman, probably looks to be late 40s, early 50s, kind of receding, thinning hair, kind of pushed back on his head, long face and chin. He's wearing very simple clothes: a white pullover cotton shirt, black suspenders, black pants, just shivering slightly. He's very slight of build, thumbing through a pocket Bible, mumbling to himself. Occasionally you see him glancing up into the rafters, the flickering lights of the lanterns kind of distracting him here and there, but always going back to his book. And he sees Pharaoh, come in, and he'll look up and just give a curt nod and go right back to his studies, readings. He's kind of unsure what he's doing there, but clearly fascinated with the book in front of him.
Felicity walks in, very hurried, like squeezes the door, closes it quickly behind her, and just like, she's like clutching her she's like a carpet bag, what the equivalent of a carpet bag would be at this point, like a rucksack. It's seen better days, and she immediately goes to the bar and says, excuse me, might I get a hot drink, please, and thank you.
Yes, of course. We've got a bit of a small warmed up small beer and some cider on the hob in the back, whatever you'd like, and you're able to get that beverage easily.
She slides him the appropriate amount of coins, and makes her way over to the fire. And she looks at the chairs, and then she looks at the floor closer to the fire. And she's wearing she's got like a bunch of furs that are making up a coat at this point. There is like a regular jacket underneath, but she is not she's not a fan of the winter, even though she should be. So she kind of takes the furs off and lays them out and sits in front of the fire, and she has like a regular jacket on, and glasses that look more like glass than actual something to correct eyesight. And she just kind of like turns to Jacob, and she just says, Some weather, huh? Wish it didn't bother me none, but here we are.
Yes, here we are.
Isabel is coming from the back of the pub. There's lots of little ways that in recent months she's been making a living. And one of them is the superstition of various people in this town. There is, of course, the liquid courage that every man and woman knows. But every now and then there's some who believe that there can be a little bit more courage added to the liquid with the help of someone who knows the old ways. And she's been doing that for this particular tavern owner every other week or so when he's getting new barrels in. Saying a few words, mumbling a few blessings, getting a few coins and a free drink in return. And today happened to be the day where new barrels had come in. So she's coming from the back of the tavern. And yes, by the way, this is an actual spell in the book, which I'm super in love with, actually called Liquid Courage. And it's coming from the back and is nodding to the tavern owner. Naturally, you keep these things on the low down low. And you don't necessarily tell the customers that don't want to hear of things such as witchcraft and superstitions. But it's enough to get a warm mug of, let's go with Anna's favorite drink, warm malt cider.
Sure. So I guess that leaves me, and Wynn is probably already in the tavern for a few minutes. She's one of those people who does not like to be late, and so she was probably more like half an hour to 45 minutes early. So she's sitting at the table closest to the door, kind of writing in one of her notebooks. And kind of just watching everyone, trying to seem not suspicious but also not stand out. All of her clothes are either some shade of black or dark gray, with one gold pendant chain around her neck. And she also wears circular black and gold glasses.
When Isabel is getting...
Yeah.
Go first.
Pharaoh will start to make their way to the bar properly and say, excuse me there, mister. I don't want to be too inconvenient here, but I was asked to look for Mr. Philip the Short, if you know anybody of that name that's come through recently.
The bartender just kind of looks around for a moment, checking to see if there happens to be anybody paying attention to your question, and then just leans in and is like, wait in the back. She should be here any minute now.
Thank you kindly. And Pharaoh will make their way to the back and sit in a chair near the fire.
Philip the Short, you say?
And it's...
Yes. Indeed.
You might be having a common friend.
And what makes you say that?
Well, I meant to be meeting him here as well.
Ah, so you, one of the hopefuls that's been roped into this along with me. Pleasure to make your acquaintance, ma'am. You can call me Pharaoh.
Very nice to meet you, Pharaoh. Isabel. You notice that Isabel is every now and then looking around herself and is trying to stay away from too many groups and from too many people. keeping an eye on everything that's going on in the pub. There's a little bit of a haunted look, a little bit of a nervousness to her.
Why don't you have a seat? Let's get acquainted while we wait for our mutual friend.
Does Wynn hear any of the conversation that's between Pharaoh and Isabel?
Go ahead and make me an eavesdrop test. Just a standard, so...
First roll.
That's-
First roll.
First roll.
I'm rolling percentile dice.
Yep, you roll your 2d10s, and for anybody who's new to the system, it's a 2d10 percentile system, so you need to meet or roll under your ability score for a success.
So I got 23, and my ability score is 48.
Then that is a success. You are able to overhear the conversation for sure.
Fantastic. So Wynn is going to kind of walk up to Pharaoh and Isabel and promptly sit down next to them. And she kind of she has very long silver hair, and she pulls it back with a ribbon. One other thing that I forgot to mention in intros is that she has one emerald eye and one gray eye. And so she'll kind of just look at you and go, well, I think I'm here for the same reason you are.
Oh, really? We're just making all kinds of new friends today.
You might want to keep your voice down a little bit, love.
Well, yes, but also I think that anybody else who is listening might have already heard you, since I did as well.
Or perhaps you're a bit more attentive than most of our patrons around us. Either or. And Pharaoh will take off their sunglasses and show that they have one amber eye and one green eye, and wink at you.
Did you all roll the same mark?
That's not even my mark.
Fair enough.
Please have a seat. You can call me Pharaoh Mason. And whom do I have the pleasure of sharing this here table with?
Wynn Hamilton, and she'll kind of like whisper and mumble the last name, almost as if she doesn't want you to hear it.
Ah, interesting indeed.
Now, you guys are near the fire when you're having this conversation?
Yes.
Yeah. Am I picking up on this amidst my going back and forth to my reading?
Yeah, go ahead and make me an eavesdrop test. Sure. Let's see how absorbed in his pocket Bible Jacob is.
Probably
The worst spies ever. Love
Oh,
it.
22. I made it. Yay.
Oh, and that is a critical success. So, because you rolled doubles. So not only
I did.
have you heard this conversation, you hear every word enunciated so well.
Nice. Okay, I'm not going to let on that I am hearing it, but I'm listening to the entire thing then. I'm just going to sit there listening, reading.
Can I hear this conversation?
At this point, I think, yeah.
Yeah. I stepped away for just a second. But I think Felicity turns around and she looks like a little unsure of herself, and she tries to takes. Hey, excuse me. I just I picked up a name that y'all were saying just now, and I think I am also. We are also. My name is Felicity. I'm also here to speak to a Mr. Philip the Short. You mind if I join you?
Sure. It's just a
I
party
wouldn't have
now.
any problem,
She sits
especially
down.
with
She's like,
someone as lovely.
I'm sorry.
I said I wouldn't mind sharing a table with someone as lovely as yourself. Pleasure to meet you, Felicity. My name is Pharaoh.
Well, it's a pleasure to meet you, Pharaoh. And y'all don't have to introduce yourself. I know sometimes people like to keep their names to themselves. That's fine. But,
Well, I'll introduce myself. That's fine. My name's Win.
yeah, I like that. That's very pretty.
Thank you.
Isabella's just staring into her mug.
Fair enough. Felicity continuing to drink the hot drink because it gets still cold. Always cold.
So at this point, he's kind of watched this unfold a bit, and kind of watched the nervous energy that's happening there. He's going to kind of snap shut his Bible and tuck it into his suspenders above his belt and reach behind his chair and grab kind of a satchel that he kind of hugs to his stomach a little bit, and he walks over to the table, standing above you four, looking down at you, and he just shakes his head a little bit. Now, am I to understand that you're here as well for Philip?
If
I'm
you mean
looking at each one of you four.
If you mean Philip the Small, then I believe so. And Win will kind of look over at Pharaoh and go, "See, I told you it wasn't just me."
Yeah, I do believe that everyone here can potentially hear you. So even with and I kind of turn, and I have this just ear that's half missing. That's my mark. Half, even with my affliction, I heard you rather clearly. You might, perhaps, stay a bit more quiet.
I'd have to guess that it's pretty obvious I'm not exactly in here for the atmosphere, so I'm a bit out of place this far up north. Apologies for being a little too open.
Did you just come up north for meeting Philip, or is there another reason?
Now that would be sharing secrets, darling.
Well, had to ask.
So does anyone have an idea of when exactly this person is supposed to be joining us? Are we early? I was under the impression I was late.
Funny, because as you mentioned that, you spy a very short, brown-haired woman dressed in the sort of colonial gown style. It's made of a very dark blue linen fabric. It's plain, but high quality. This is clearly somebody who can afford to put some resources into the construction of some new clothes. And she walks into the room, looks around, and takes in all of you. And she says, "Oh, you're here to meet with Philip the Short, yes?"
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, well, then I'm sure you won't mind if I... Wonderful. Well, I'm sure then you know what is to come. I must ask you all, what is on the top of Fanway Hall? Anybody who is from Boston? I don't remember if any of you are from Boston. Right? Okay. Oh, Win is.
Yeah.
Okay. So you would know, I'll send you real quick, and anybody else who would like to can make a routine, so a plus 10% chance folklore test.
So when you say plus 10%, does that mean you add 10% to whatever you get?
Your target number. So if you're trying to roll under
Okay.
a 55, you would add 10 to that 55 and be rolling under 65.
Got it.
And does that stack if we have a skill point in folklore?
Yes. Yes. So
Okay.
it would be a total of plus 20. Which I think several of you do actually have folkloric training.
Yes.
I do.
Right.
I also do,
No.
but I already know.
I got an 83. That's bad.
Oof.
That would be a
Not a critical failure, but it's bad.
What was that, Pharaoh?
It's a 26.
Okay.
It's a success.
And that would be a 31 for me.
And I succeed as well.
All right. So for everybody who succeeded there, except for Felicity, because, not being from around here, a little bit less familiar, you know there is a golden grasshopper at the top of Fanway Hall, the big meeting place for all of the political debates and civic conversations that have been going on surrounding this conflict. And you'd gather this is some sort of a code word type thing that she's testing you with. Of course, you must understand I have to ask.
Of course. It's a golden grasshopper.
She exhales a little bit visibly. All right, then. Then let's get down to business. And she sits down at the somewhat sticky, rough-hewn wooden table with the rest of you. Now, my name is Philippa Pullman. I'm here on behalf of my brother Morris. He's currently in Philadelphia, assisting our friend, Mr. John Hancock, with the Continental Congress. I've taken the liberty of making inquiries as to your character, received satisfactory reports from all of you. I hope you'll excuse my forwardness, but I must have people I can trust for this job. And she explains to you that my brother has a daughter named Mary Pullman. She's my favorite niece, means more to me than anything in the world. And she's very worried, you see, that she's in danger. She's worried that she might be kidnapped by those seeking leverage against her father and our family. My brother needs you to escort her from Beacon Hill to Bull's Wharf, where my other brother Adam will be waiting with a boat to take Mary to safety. If you can successfully escort her there, I'll pay you 10 pounds. You can have half now and then half for my brother Adam when you deliver to the boat.
Do
Would you
those
be,
landmarks ring a bell? Do we know how far that is approximately?
Yeah, so you would essentially be going across town towards where the Pullman residence is, and then it would be a journey through the city to get back to the wharf. But yeah, you are at the water right now, so it would be a little bit deeper into the town to get to their house. And she says he can have the boat ready at early in the morning, at 1 o'clock, ready to go.
Pullman.
Yeah,
You
sounds
say
like
Mary Pullman?
Yes, Mary Pullman, my niece. I'm sorry,
need
I
to
don't.
meet her.
Do you? Yes, you'll be meeting her at my family's home. They are at, and the address she gives you for the Pullman house, 15 George Street. You are all familiar enough with the city to know how to get there.
Of course.
Now, of course, there's always.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, you go ahead, Felicity.
Okay, I thought Isabella was talking. Isabel, excuse me. just what exactly does she look like, just so that in case no, she hasn't been switched or anything. I don't know.
Oh, yes, of course. Oh, you did come very highly recommended, very thorough. She's very short, rather young, long blonde hair. She tends to oftentimes wear breeches and a jacket just for ease of travel, ease of getting back and forth, you know. And she just kind of like whispers a little bit. It's not really the place to be talking about it, but it makes some of our political activities a bit easier, if you know what I mean.
Oh, certainly.
Well, at the very least, you can count me in. I'm not one to let a lady travel anywhere dangerous by herself.
I mean, yes, I would like to, actually.
Well, I'm in as well. I can use the money, so.
It does seem like
And
the
you, sir?
right thing to do.
I can certainly help out. Yeah, it's the right thing to do.
You know, I believe we're acquainted with everyone else, but I believe I missed your name, sir.
His name is Jacob.
Oh, you're speaking to me. Sorry. I guess I'm the only him here, aren't I?
Excuse me.
Jacob Allen. Pleased to make your acquaintance.
A pleasure. The pleasure's all mine. My name is Pharaoh.
Jacob,
Well-
are you perchance a reverend or a father or a brother of some sort of religious sect? I saw you reading. I could tell a good book when I see one, but I can't really rightly say which god you worship.
Well, that's an interesting question and a conversation for another day, probably. But you could refer to me as a brother. Perhaps you've heard of the Quakers. I do find myself leaning in that direction occasionally, and and I kind of gesture over to Wynn, as Wynn knows I've offered blessings and tidings and confessional service to those in need. Why, my child, do you need something now? And he says that with kind of a sarcastically mirthful look in his eye, like you're not quite sure if he's messing with you or not.
No, sir. I follow just a variety of different things. I'd rather not speak also about whomst I follow, but I was just curious. You know, sometimes you find the most interesting things about people, especially in a book. I met some Quakers. We sowed some oats earlier. I helped them sow oats in the field at one point or another.
Well, that's interesting turn of phrase.
Yes, I know. Every time I tell that story.
Philippa sits up a little bit straighter at the table, and she's like, well, all right, this has been a very illuminating conversation, but there is one more thing, and then I must be going. And she pulls two letters sealed with wax out of her coat and hands them to you. One of them is addressed Mary on the outside, and then the other is addressed to Adam. Would you please give this one to Mary, my niece, at the house, and then the other to my brother Adam when you meet him at the boat? These are things of a personal and private nature, so I'm sure you'll understand. Despite your background, I must ask you not to open them, or else that will be considered a violation of our contract. And as she slides over the letters on the table, she also slides over the £5 in old-time paper money.
Pharaoh will pluck both of the letters and tuck them on the inner pocket of their jacket and say, "Don't worry, discretion is key when it comes to matters such as this. But I believe there's no time like the present, my compatriots, if we wanted to begin making our way."
Oh, certainly.
And
What time is
as
it right
you
now?
are, it's the evening. It's probably about like 8 or 9 p.m. You know, like dusk has definitely fallen. People are coming in off of working on the wharves. And as you say, it's a time to make your way. You hear a huge commotion from the tavern common room, at which point Philippa stands bolt upright at the table. Anyone who would like to can make an eavesdrop test to see what's going on out there.
I rolled an 8. Yay!
Oh, wow.
That's nice. Eavesdrop's reception.
I got a 24.
23.
23
Wow.
as well.
So, sorry about that. There was a little bit of a delay. So you all hear a commotion outside, and looking through the crack in the door, see 5 redcoat soldiers that have burst into this tavern and are appearing to come in and start shouting threats about traitors and this place being a hotbed of saboteurs. And it looks like they're getting ready, you know, with like the butts of muskets and such to round people up and arrest them, suspecting them of treason. Philippa stands bolt upright at the table and says, "You must get out of here now. I cannot be seen here. I'm sure you understand. I have to go. Please take care of Mary for me." And she dashes out of the back room. And we're now going to enter a chase scene. Because we hit our 20 retweets, I'm going to give you all a bit of a head start here. So you will actually get to act first, aside from the redcoats. This is going to be a very short chase. We kind of go into like a, not quite initiative, but a bit of a narrative time here for you to escape and get away from these here redcoats. So, let me just have this pulled up. All right. Gonna give all of y'all a head start, which means that you will get to add to your movement. Okay.
Yeah.
So here we will do the roll for the chase. You get +3 for your head start, so everyone needs to roll a d10, add your movement, and add a +3 for the head start to see how fast you are getting out. And I will roll for the redcoats.
Movement is just agility, correct?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Oh, I see. So Felicity got a. I can do math. 11 altogether.
All right.
It was a D10 plus
D10 plus
what?
movement +3. +3 for your head start.
Got it. I got a 13.
So did
All
I.
right.
Same.
So 13 for Wynn, Isabel, and Pharaoh. And Jacob, how about yourself?
You're muted.
You are
I said, how's the old man beating you all? I got a 15.
Holy cow! Jacob is secretly built, apparently. Well, the redcoats were terrible. They all ended up with
no.
a 3. To be fair, they are in the midst of a very crowded tavern here. All right, so they need to beat the numbers that you have rolled. So let me see if they're going to be able to do this. They have no head start. Oh no, indeed they do not. They rolled a 5, so they can't even beat Felicity's thing. All right, so go ahead and tell me what it is that you are doing to flee, and then the redcoats I'll narrate what's happening with them.
Well, as you all know, well, not you all yet, but you're about to find out. As soon as Felicity gets outside, she books it. The reason she got such a low score is because she had to turn immediately and run to the stable, and she's pulling out the most ornery donkey you guys have ever seen. and then she gets on top of him, and she's just like, "Go, Hans!" And we book it again. Though Hans is a slow animal, he is not going very fast, but he's going. And I actually see here, riding a slow animal is my agility +6.
Yep. So when we roll for the next round, you'll get a bonus because you're riding an animal. And anybody, if you can feel free to be like, I'm hiding, I'm running, I'm doing any other thing that seems reasonable within the world to get away from them. It's totally up to you. Just imagine what you would have access to in this kind of city streets.
Pharaoh is going to take the approach of trying to just blend in, and is just going to casually walk out of the back door and put their hair up in a tight bun with the hairband that they keep around their wrist, and just sort of flip the collar up of their purple coat, just try and look nonchalant, like they're not bothered by the presence of the redcoats.
All right. Sounds good. Anybody else doing anything in particular to assist yourself or another character?
I was going to kind of do something similar to what Pharaoh did, but pull my hair down instead of up, and pull up my cloak. And I was gonna. Is there anything else in the stables where Felicity was?
Yeah, there are. It's the kind of place, where it's like a tavern inn combination, like most of them. So there's various like horse and stable equipment. There are some livestock animals, probably a few, chickens that the proprietor of the Sign of the Maiden is keeping for food.
Are there any other horses or donkeys?
Mm-hmm. Yep, there would be other horses that belong to patrons of the tavern or the owner.
Can I grab what looks like the darkest horse or the fastest?
The darkest horse sounds good.
Dark
Go for it.
Right.
The dark ones go faster. It's a rule.
They do.
But I also blend
All
in
right.
with Julia.
Red Ferraris.
Mm-hmm.
Red cars in general.
Just push on your horse accelerator and go fast.
Horse go brrr.
Yeah. All right. If you have nothing else that you want to do to aid in your escape, we're going to go ahead and roll. Jacob, go ahead.
I did. So when the redcoats came in, they came in through the front door?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
And Philippa had just darted out of the back of the tavern. So
Okay.
you were in an interior room that opened to the back.
They're rounding up everyone, or just like specific people?
Yeah. No, looks like it's indiscriminate, but you also know that this place has kind of got a reputation for being a rebel sympathizing establishment.
Okay. So yeah, then I'm gonna slip out the back, but I'm not looking for I'm not gonna look for horses or anything else. I'm hoping that there's a group of people traveling down the street, maybe late night revelers or things like that, finding their way home, and I am going to just kind of slip into the middle of them and start offering them the word of the good Lord as we walk down the street together.
Great.
Okay. So
And
we have one donkey.
Yeah, I'm going to pull a long plaid cape over my head, slip out the back as well, which I figure she came in from to do her job. Part ways, of course, with their contact to not be in the same group.
All right. We'll modify this a wee little bit because so many of y'all are disguising yourselves. So if you are disguising yourself, I will have you go ahead and make a standard. You can make a guile test or a skullduggery test. Up to you. And then for those of you who are riding animals, go ahead and make your rolls modify based off the speed, and I will roll for the redcoats to see if they are. Okay.
What does the horse count as?
Fast animal. Let me see. Agility bonus plus 12 to your roll.
Okay.
So roll a d10 plus agility plus 12.
Okay. So I succeeded on my guile as well. So
Okay.
the roll is agility plus 12. Is there anything for guile? Or
Just to see if you blended in, basically.
okay. That's fine.
So yeah, your chase roll for the horse is agility, guile, and a d10. Or sorry,
Okay.
agility and a d10.
Yes.
I am going to use
I-
a reroll. So
Smart.
Oh,
your first
did
I,
you fail?
there.
All right.
With the extra, I get an extra 10% because it's a standard guile roll? Yes? Or did I hear that wrong?
Standard is just a straight roll, 0.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the meaning of the word standard.
But you
that
would get it
totally
for if you
apparently
had
didn't
training.
understand. Okay.
Yeah.
Then I just barely met it was a 56, and I'm trained in guile. So if you meet it, is it met or
If you
under?
meet it, it's a
Or
success. Yep.
okay.
Yep.
Woo!
Yep.
Just barely.
Excellent. How'd the rest of us do? Isabel, Jacob,
I rolled it.
Felicity.
I rolled a 16. I think I'm good.
Yes, you are really selling it on being a proselytizing Quaker, which, as unusual as that often seems to be, for some reason, these folks of Boston are just really desperate for some good news. You know, there's a war, there's a siege, food's running out, and they're just like, yeah, this guy offering us a peaceful alternative.
Everyone needs comfort in
Isabel.
trying times.
It's funny because I flipped yours to fail. I rolled a 61, so the reroll didn't help either.
Oh.
Okay. Did you need me to roll for Hans?
Yeah.
Here?
Yes. So your slow animal is a D10 plus agility bonus plus 6.
Do you want my fast?
Sorry?
I was just gonna ask if she wanted my fast animal roll as well. But
No,
you can go ahead.
Oh, I thought you were asking me. I was like, no, I don't want your. I specifically picked a donkey.
No,
for the
me.
So I got a. I can do math. 23, because I rolled a 10 on my dice.
All right.
Look, Han can't do much, but when he knows it's time to get up and go, he'll get up and go.
Awesome. And Wynn, what did Wynn roll for the horse?
I got a 25.
Excellent. So those of you who are mounted on animals are moving far and away much faster than these redcoats. Jacob and Pharaoh successfully, either smoothly or roughly, able to blend into the crowd. And Isabel, for the final round, let me have you go ahead and make one more escape. You can just straight up flee, or you can try to blend in yet again, and we'll see how the redcoats do. They are slow boys this evening.
I'm straight up fleeing. There's been a lot of chasing and being hounded in the last several weeks, and it hasn't really been doing much for her psyche. So I did roll well on this one. It's a 23. It's under all my stuff. Is there a flee? No, there's no skills such as that. But what?
No, it's just your agility plus a d10.
Yeah.
And you've got to beat a 7.
All right. Yeah, that's fine. I rolled a 10. So that's 14.
All right. Awesome. So we are now out of our chase sequence, with all of you variously able to shake off the redcoats, otherwise occupied with arresting a bunch of rabble-rousers, or so they seem, at this tavern. And you are now free and clear on the streets of Boston, ready to make your way to the Pullman house, or perhaps scout out a route from the house to the wharf. Whatever you would like.
From a timing perspective, how long, if we were to leave where we are right now, go straight to the house, and then go to the harbor, how much time do we have? Because we have to get her there by a certain time, right?
Yes. Yeah, so you have a few hours, probably, okay. I would say by now it's about 9 p.m., and Adam will be at the wharf with the boat at 1 a.m. So you have a little bit of a cushion. You remember, though, Philippa also was, speaking very cautiously that the house might be being watched because people are actually looking to kidnap Mary to hold her for leverage or something like that. So you have a little bit of cushion, but it's definitely a time of...
Okay. And I'm assuming during the chase we all kind of lost sight of each other, right? So now we're kind of scattered at the moment?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Okay.
I would like to try and find Isabel out of the crowd. Since I hid right outside of the bar, I would imagine if she ran, Pharaoh might have been able to spot her running and would like to go that general direction to try and see if I can wrangle her.
Yeah, sounds good. If you can make me an easy awareness test, because you would have seen her clothing and you know exactly who you're looking for. So awareness plus 20 for your roll.
Sounds fantastic. And I'm proficient in awareness. God bless.
Sweet.
Yeah, I rolled a 25, so that's a success.
Wow, you all, can I please have some of this good luck for my rolls? That would be a delight. Yeah, you're able to pick Isabel out in the crowd and sneakishly, I suppose, not without attracting any attention, make your way over to where she is.
You'll probably spot the sort of green-bluish tartan that is now, because she's using it as a hood, fairly obvious and for someone like you. Just vanishing
into... Pharaoh will sort of just lean over her shoulder and say, "Now you run like someone who's ran before. From what is the question?"
She startles, not having noticed you at all, and it's a kind of sideway alley, little alley she's tried to vanish in, that you followed her to, and she does look around, her eyes darting. It's the very same people we're running from now, and I do not care to be in their position again.
I think I'm starting to piece it a little bit together about you. Well, let's
Add
say
a little
we.
bit of religious zeal, and you've got yourself a couple of nightmares.
Well, let's say we make our way down to this house as inconspicuously as possible. You know, purple and green are actually a very pretty color combination.
Thanks. It's a
I
family
will
heirloom.
extend an arm.
She looks around and takes it a little bit hesitantly. But figures it's
Okay.
good enough disguise.
Start making our way to
Inconspicuous.
the house.
We can do that, yes. Yes.
Well, inconspicuous isn't exactly my middle name, but I've been known to be a bit persuasive if things should go south.
I'm sure I don't know what you mean.
And Pharaoh will sort of just look around and go, well, let's just hope that any redcoats don't cross our path.
You sound like you have no fear of anything.
Not anything with 2 legs and 2 arms.
A
And
couple of these
Pharaoh will do
arms are
this.
holding very, very sharp swords. Not afraid of those either.
There's some saying that people say over here in these colonies about the pen being mightier, something like that.
I guess you can stab someone with a pen if you really need to.
Now there's ingenuity. And Pharaoh will smile very brightly.
She's very taken aback by this level of sheer confidence, which is incredibly alien to her. And lets you lead the way.
We make our way to the Pullman residence.
All right, Jacob. Did you have anything in particular you wanted to do?
Yeah, I'm hoping that I could have spotted Wynn, because Wynn was on a horse. Hoping I could have kind of spotted her as she rode off and kind of figured out what direction. Once I got out of the redcoat zone of danger, that I could make my way in that direction, because I'm trying to track her down before we head to the house.
Sounds good. Go ahead and make me a routine awareness test. You're reasonably familiar with the city of Boston because you've been here before, spent some time here. So add a +10
Okay.
to your roll, or to your target number.
All right, so that would be a 42. 42. Yes, that hits it.
You succeeded. Awesome. Yeah.
Yep.
So you, despite the darkness of the dark-colored horse galloping through shadows in the night, you get that sense of like somebody that knows how to bug out of a bad situation. Put 2 and 2 together that's Wynn. And with the direction that the horse is galloping off in, there's probably a circuitous route, but she'll wind up at the house.
Okay.
So yeah.
I'm gonna try and hopefully she's gonna get off the horse before she gets to the house. I'm gonna try and follow that route and catch up to her. Yep, that's my plan.
All right.
Do I notice that Jacob is following me? I would have slowed down after I got a little ways away. I would probably just be like, the horse would probably just be walking at this point to look.
Yeah. If you're going slowly enough that the horse is walking, yeah, I think you would notice.
Okay. So I'll kind of I'll stop. And kind of get off the horse when I notice Jacob, and grab its reins. And wait for him.
He's gonna hurry over to you. He looks he keeps looking over his shoulder. He seems a bit nervous, and he's not the most athletic person. So his running, he's running, and he's kind of probably out of breath a bit when he catches up to you. Ma'am, I don't like traveling alone at night. If you wouldn't mind accompanying me to the house.
I don't see why not. Although, don't try and join in with another group of revelers like you did earlier. I don't do that.
That was my way out of that situation. But more importantly, I find myself a bit out of my element here. I'm not gonna put up false fronts. But I do feel that this is more your area of expertise, so I'll defer to your judgment in these matters of moving things through the city, if you understand what I'm saying.
She acts like pretend offended, and she goes, well, and she just kind of smirks and says, well, maybe. I will neither confirm nor deny any of those theories, but I can certainly help.
Fair enough. Well, if you'd lead on.
And I'm not going to let the horse go, but I will bring it with us.
All right, then. Unless there's anything else people want to do, we will have you be meeting up at the house. So, taking your time through the city, attempting to not attract too much attention. It's now nearing just about 10 o'clock at night. You're reaching the house at 15 George Street. This is on Beacon Hill, which is kind of the fancy, wealthy part of town. And even among those houses, this is one of the very grand, old, stately properties. It stands out even along this street. It's got a very beautiful elevated view of the Charles River. And if you are in an upper story, you'd have a great view of the entire city of Boston. It's got some like oil street lamps lit out there, and you see a glow coming from the front window where there is a faint outline of a man standing there looking in a mirror. And you also notice there is someone standing across the street, kind of leaning against a wall in very nondescript clothing, but very obviously keeping an eye on the house, watching who's coming and going, and, not trying to stand out too much, but not terribly trying to hide that fact either. What do you do?
Well, Wynn will absolutely wait for Pharaoh to get there because she knows that they have the letter that will prove that we are who we say we are. And so I'll wait probably down towards the end of the street and just kind of sit there for a while.
I don't know whether or not Isabel is pushing for faster travel, but Farah is absolutely just taking their sweet time, just like the most lackadaisical, just looking around, enjoying the side of town, just musing about like weird facts that they happen to know as they approach the house. Well, it looks like I'll find Miss Hamilton and Brother Allen made it out of there all right. Now we just gotta track down Madame Cross.
They all seem
I'm
like
not
very capable.
listening. No, keep going, Isabel, please.
They all seem like very capable people.
Indeed they do. There's something about that Hamilton. I feel like I've heard that name before. Well, either way, thank you so much for keeping me company during that walk. I do appreciate it.
Of course. Of course, it's always safer to travel in pairs, and you've been quite an interesting conversationalist, I must say.
Don't you know I actually get that quite a lot?
No, I'm not too surprised.
Now, if you don't mind me, and Farrell will take their hair down and sort of shake it and knock on the door.
We did see Wynn waiting near the entrance, right? You said you were sitting down.
Yeah.
There,
I would have
there
gotten
she-
that.
there she is.
Mason.
Felicity will come by in a moment. Sans, Hans, and he was. I had to. I'm here. I had to leave him back by some trees. He got real angry about running. Did not like it, but I'm here.
Excellent. So you go up and knock on the door and see the figure of the gentleman who is standing in the window looking at the mirror come and answers the door to you. You see who opens the door, and sort of aging older man in servant's clothes. And he's just like, yes, can I help you?
Well, hello there, my good fellow. I am here to pick up Miss Pullman. I have a date.
He looks at you through some narrowed eyes and is like, oh, really? Well, if you are here for the young lady, then I'm sure you'll understand I require some proof of your intentions, that they are honorable.
And while digging around in the pocket, I'll be like, good sir, anything that I've ever done in my whole life is honorable, but I do have what you're asking for. And I'll present
And he takes it, and his more formal demeanor relaxes into a smile. And he's like, yes, come in. Please, make yourselves comfortable. My name is Thomas. I am the butler of this house. So you are here for Miss Pullman, to escort her safely to her Uncle Adam. Yes, of course. She's just upstairs. She'll be down in a moment.
It's no rush, and Farrell will sit down in the comfiest chair they can find. Also, if the others hadn't followed, Farrell will absolutely motion for them to before they walk in.
Yeah. And Thomas is also ushering all of you inside, like, come in, let me close the door. Looking over you at that person standing across the street.
So
Felicity
when Pharaoh
steps
made
in.
his, or what did the other person that was watching do? Anything?
Sorry, can you say that again? You cut out a little there.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, when Pharaoh made his way to the door, what did that person that was watching the house do? Did they seem to take note? I mean, what?
They're just still watching. It looks like they are standing just in the shadows between houses. They didn't do anything. They're just still watching.
Okay.
Felicity takes off her glasses, kind of like rubs her eyes a little bit. It's a wonderful. That's not her accent. It's a wonderful house you got here. And she's just like looking around and trying to see things that no one else can see if they're around. If they're just hanging out.
You mean like magical things?
Like ghosts.
What kind of things? Okay, like ghosts.
Like a
So
whole ass
how-
ghost.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
see what
that's-
you're trying to do. How does this look when Felicity is kind of like reaching out with intuition or the knack that you
So-
have for the supernatural, whatever it is?
this is
you want to
this
call
is something that she has yet to disclose to any of the other party members. But the glasses that she wears don't do anything for her eyesight. In fact, they actually hinder her eyesight, and it makes it harder for her to focus on seeing spirits. So when she takes them off, it's very much that like, all right, time to align the spirits and see if there's any around. But yeah, she does kind of like take a walk about the room. It kind of has her hands out, trying to notice if any spots get colder or not. Trying to look as like, I'm just looking at this really nice old house.
And Thomas the butler follows you around a wee little bit. He's just like, oh yes, lovely place, isn't it? It's a shame that Morris has not been back here in years, but he is very busy, of course, with the Congress in Philadelphia. We're keeping this with somewhat of a skeleton staff, as it were, to make sure that Miss Mary is all taken care of here. But, of course, it's much greater when the entire family is in residence, and he's just kind of like going around and explaining, things to you about like portraits of people on the walls, and you you don't get any sense of like a magical essence to the building. However, you do feel as he is walking around kind of behind you, showing you the tour of the house, a slight cold spot in like a front breast pocket
Of
when he comes up near to where you are.
And you said your name was Thomas. Thomas, how long have you been with the family?
Oh, yes. My name is Thomas. Oh my, I've been with the Pullman family for 15 years. I originally came to Boston under indenture, as working the docks, trying to start a new life here. But back in England, I used to be a cook. And when Mr. Pullman learned that, he asked to hire me onto his household. And yes, here I am. I worked off my indenture, decided to stay on, paid a salary, and I've been the caretaker of the family home ever since.
You said 15 years.
Yes, that's right.
Does that make it before or after Mary was born?
Oh, well, it would be right around the same time, I'd imagine. Although, of course, some of that overlapped with my work in the shipyards. But yes, I have known her since she was a very young girl, which is why I would not trust anybody less than myself to protect her, you understand. We've already had several attempts of people coming and going. The last one was about 3 weeks ago. Someone tried to snatch her on her way back from church. So she's been a little more confined to the house since then. They've been getting more desperate.
How long did
You're
you
a
say it was
rotten
gonna
ass
take
person,
to get born?
What was that, Felicity? No, it's okay.
I didn't mean to cut Win off. She's just like, you are a rotten ass person, Thomas, for caring for your charge that way. That's all. I can tell
well,
that you.
Thank you.
And she looks at his pocket. And she's like. She also cuts an eye at Isabel, but not like a harsh one, just kind of like a. I saw. All right. Like, she's not that. Like, she's not gonna go digging that much if that's a personal thing. Just you're around. If that skeleton ain't need to come out the closet, then I ain't gonna air nobody's skeletons. That ain't my job.
How long did you say that? How long did you say that it was going to take for her to come downstairs?
Oh, it should be any time now, actually. And you do hear the footfalls of her coming down the steps. And she looks much as Philippa had described her to you, like a young woman in her maybe like late teens, early 20s, kind of stringy blonde hair, a very square face, and wearing a jacket and breeches. And Thomas turns around, just like, Miss Mary, may I present to you your escorts to the wharf?
And Pharaoh will immediately pop up from the chair and say, Mary, darling, well, don't you just look sweet as a peach? It's been a while since we've seen each other.
And she just blushes a little bit and is like, yes, of course, although in my case it's rather more of a New England apple than a peach. Very kind of you, Mr. Mason.
Of course.
Well then.
Ma'am, pleased to meet you. Are you, have you prepared for travel?
Yes, sir, I have. And she's got a very just sort of light satchel, kind of a go bag of the colonial types, ready to go. But she's dressed for climbing over things and sneaking onto boats in the middle of the night.
I am muted. If you don't mind, I could carry that bag for you. I normally put it on my mule, but he is away at the moment. Just in case you need to run. Don't want you to get weighed down by your belongings.
Oh, well, thank you. But if it's all the same to you, if we go down, we go down together, eh? What was it Benjamin Franklin said? We must all hang together or we'll surely hang separately. Something like that. My father would know.
Fair enough.
He always does
That's what
write
I always
all
look
sorts
for
of
most.
Mr. Franklin's witticisms home from the Congress.
All right, well, I believe we've dirtied up enough of Thomas's very nicely kept interior here. Shall we make our way out? Oh, also, Thomas, there's a young man standing across the street that's been keeping quite a close eye on this house here. Before we do anything uncouth towards him, would you happen to know who that is?
Thomas... Oh, sorry. Brain wires just got crossed there. Yeah, he's like, I haven't the faintest idea. I assume it's somebody wishing to again kidnap Miss Pullman, because several attempts have been happening. And she, Mary, just kind of rolls her eyes a bit and shrugs her shoulders, and she's like, I can see we're going to have to be yet more creative in how we get out of here to the wharf. We can't just walk out in plain lamplight. Even in these clothes, he'll recognize me. Who else would be going into and out of this house? There's nobody else from the Pullman family staying here. We need a plan.
Well, ma'am,
Well,
why not? How tall is Mary?
She's short. She's about like 5 foot, 5'2".
Oh, perfect. That's about my height. If I might suggest, maybe pulling a switcheroo. We trade clothes, wear something to cover our heads. One half of our company exits the front, and one half exits the back. I would suggest myself disguised going in the front with our companions and you going out the back with the others. Just in case if this man does try anything, hopefully he'll come after us instead of after you.
I see. They're relentless, though. Miss, are you prepared for a fight? I was
I've seen
only
worse.
fortunately able to get away by stabbing a man's hand with my chatelaine on the way home from church last attempt.
Well, another option is we can always just go out the front and my horse is tied up at the front gate. Put you
That is
on
an
that.
option.
Oh, begging your pardon, miss, though. That horse isn't gonna be big enough for 6 people. We do have a coach, though. And Thomas kind of perks up at that point and is just like, oh, yes, it's been quite some time before that's seen use, but I suppose we could kit it out as some sort of decoy or distraction of some kind. Yes, that could work as well. That could work.
It is a wonderful way to travel.
Very stylish, to be sure.
We'd certainly have the upper hand if it can fit all 6 of us.
Indeed.
I definitely would prefer that any sense of untoward violence to someone we don't know.
It's also something to be said that most likely there's not just one of them.
Oh, of course
Probably
not.
not.
Well, that's just the point, man. He doesn't look strong enough to carry a lady of any size bigger than a babe out of here by himself, so I'm sure they're all around us. Perhaps a coach is a good idea. Now, I will say, though, I've always been a fan of animals. I'm not exactly the most proficient in getting them to do as I'd like, so I believe we'd have to pick another one of you to handle the maneuvering of the car.
Is
I only know
mechanical
how to
question,
handle my
is
dog.
Is handle animal and ride the coach the same thing, basically?
Yeah, or
As
a drive
ride,
test. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
ride or drive. I can handle animals, but I
Yeah.
can't ride or drive. So Isabel
Yeah, this
will
would
perk
be
up
the drive.
with Just
Is it drive or... Oh, there is drive. I see it.
Yeah.
Why are those trained?
I will say this, the problem with that, well, perhaps it's not a problem. It could very well be an opportunity for something else later, but once someone catches sight of the carriage, it's going to be very easy for them to keep eyes on it and very difficult to lose sight. So keep that in mind as you're planning this escape.
Why
well,
not
but in the future,
combine the ideas?
having
If
exactly
you
that.
don't mind. If we have someone, Thomas, if you want to take the coach and act like a distraction, if you will, for whoever's watching the house, and we can try and sneak out Felicity and Mary switching their clothes. I'm not an expert in any of this, but it seems like getting a lot of false leads might be our way to go.
Is the carriage
Throwing
a
them off
closed
the scent.
carriage or coach?
Yes, it's a regular, just sort of 4-wheeled coach with windows in it, but it's got, places where you could draw shades or something like that, like a very typical upper class traveling vehicle.
For sure. Maybe we don't have anyone in the carriage or the coaches at all. We could always just let Thomas go with it.
As a distraction.
Yes.
Yes, well, I do certainly know my way around driving something like that.
Why don't we do that and then go out the back?
As
You
I
don't have a
said
problem
earlier,
with
I
it.
defer to your judgment, Wynn.
If the majority rules. Suppose it would be kind of backwards to go against democracy considering our surroundings.
All right, so we've got the plan to have Thomas drive the coach as a decoy. And are we swapping clothes between Felicity and Mary still? While the rest of you go out back, just making sure that I have pieces in place.
Yes.
That sound right?
Still switching.
Okay. All right. Excellent. So, you change clothes, preparing to leave out the back door of the house. Thomas has gone down to the stables to get the coach situated, drawn all of the shades so that you can't see that there's actually nobody inside of it. And gonna make a wild assumption here and go out on a limb thinking y'all are trying to be inconspicuous as you travel. So I will need everybody to make me some stealth checks, please. And this will just be a standard stealth check, so no modifiers for the situation.
So it's a D10 plus agility? Or D10 plus
No, you are trying 2d10, roll under your stealth score. Yep.
I got a 67.
Is that a fail for you? Probably. Yeah. Okay. Just so y'all are aware, I don't have all of your character sheets up, so you can say the number, but let me know if it's a success or fail. Because otherwise I don't have all the scores memorized and I don't have all of the sheets up at once.
And keep in mind, you have the reroll tokens. Everyone can use them.
You do.
So, yeah.
Yep.
Yes, I'm going to assume that I want to reroll this 100 that I just rolled.
Yeah, you want to do that.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That would be
re-roll.
ideal.
Yeah.
That would be ideal.
I did succeed on the stuff.
Okay.
I got a 44, which is a success, and
Does
I believe
that-
a critical success.
That is a critical success, yes. Let me make sure
I still
that...
failed.
I was going to say, Jeff, you don't look hopeful for what that reroll was.
I
I mean, it's
swear
better
to
than
God,
the critical
Colin's
fail.
Contagious.
But
Oh no,
That's still
what
bad.
happened?
Ever since I played with Colin for the first time, like, just player and not the GM player situation, I've been rolling like utter shite. I went from a 71 to a 98.
Right.
Yes, Jeff. Yes.
well, at least it's not. At least I'm not the one who screwed up royally this time. So I just screwed up mildly. I can hang this on your. Yep.
Oh, please hang me. I mean, might as well.
I mean, with that stuff
right.
roll.
I'm
So we
also
got
gonna
what,
go ahead
3
and spend
fails,
my
2
coins.
successes? Oh, you're gonna
I'm
spend
off.
a coin to reroll? Okay.
Yeah,
That's much
just wait
better.
for
That is a
everyone.
40, which is my agility is 42.
Oh wow. Alright.
Not just
So we got
right under the.
2 fails, 3 successes. Excellent. And you have got Mary traveling with you. You're making your way down the darkened streets of Boston. You don't really have paved roads as such during this period of time, even in the wealthier parts of the city. So you can feel the kind of mud mixed with animal manure, trash, water runoff, melting snow kind of squelching around your feet. And as you're making your way down the road, someone steps out from an alleyway and is just like, all right, gonna ask you to stop right there. We have you surrounded. Just give us the girl and you can leave. and it is the same fellow that you saw standing across the street watching the Pullman house, who has apparently been tailing you this entire time.
Oh, come now, gentlemen. There's no need for any rash decisions here. We're just out for an evening stroll. What say
All
you
right, then.
just step
Yes.
out of our way, and we continue our walk.
Sorry, friend, I have no quarrel with you, so I will ask you one more time. Give us the girl, and you can go.
What girl are you talking about? We are just our party.
Then how come there was 5 of you that went into the house and 6 that came out? And he whistles, I'm not gonna do it into the microphone, and you see 4 other
Oh, that is an Anna internet hiccup, I think.
We win.
Yeah.
We win. That's how it goes.
Hey, there we go. I could still see you, but Lydia, it just looked like you were drinking water for a really long time.
What are you
Whoops.
talking about? It was for
Okay.
like 10 minutes.
So yeah, so these four fellas in their dark-colored, nondescript clothing step out of the shadows, and they are going to make a grab for Miss Mary Pullman. What do you do? I'm not gonna give them surprise, but if you wish to fight, we would then be entering combat. So you would spend AP accordingly.
Which Mary are they grabbing for? The one that's in Mary's clothes or the one that's in Felicity's clothes?
They are going for the one who is in disguise. They are going for the real Mary because they have been spying on her for a long time and know that she is very cunning and devious in her attempts to weasel away from them. So they know who the real Mary is.
What's interesting is about that is most likely it's been the same group each time trying to kidnap her. So that is something for us to investigate later on. As they try and make
And
a grab,
yeah, all right.
Can I hold on? I gotta look up the actual name of it.
Totally fine. And just for those of you who are watching, we are doing a slightly modified version of the way that initiative works in this system. We're trying out the rolling, passing, pass the torch initiative. So whoever takes their turn will act, and then you'll pass the torch basically to someone next if you'd like to set them up, or at some point I will intrude in with an obstacle or an agent or something. So Wynn, what would you like to do?
As they go for the grab, I'm going to pull out my turnout pistol and fire it at the main guy.
Oh wow! All right, shots
Wow,
fired.
we're just
So
going straight to it. All right. Oh god.
Go ahead and make me a. I believe that's. Is that martial or is that martial ranged or? Yeah, I think that's martial ranged for a gun. Yeah. So go ahead and make me your attack roll.
I think this one told me that it was. Oh yeah, no, this is martial range. Never mind.
Yeah.
So that's I have to get below my combat score, right?
You have to get below. Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Okay, so that is, and I'm trained or proficient in the martial range, so combat goes up to 54. I got a 47.
All right, and this fella is gonna have to defend or take some damage. So let me roll for them. Oof. Rolled an 89, so I'm going to use one of my misfortune points to re-roll that because that was a fail, so that'll get flipped back over for the players to use. Oh god, and it's still a fail. It's a 90, so yeah, you are going to hit him with the bolt. Go ahead and roll me your d6 dice for damage, however many you roll for that weapon.
Okay. It says damage is 4. So is that 46?
No, you add the damage bonus to your roll. So you roll a d6 and then add whatever that bonus is.
Got it. So I got a 4, so add 4 is 8.
Okay. Let me see. That is going to be enough to put this fella down to lightly wounded. Okay. He's going to have one of his buddies hop in and make a jab at you as you, Wynn, are pulling out your... Oh, wait, no, I'm sorry. You have 2 more AP left. So if you have anything else that you would like to do, go ahead and do that now if you want to take cover or attempt any dirty tricks or anything like that. You can also just bank AP if you want to, like dodge out of the way of future attacks, but that's up to you. Sorry, rough and tumble, not dirty tricks. You can also reload if you need to reload your weapon.
I don't think I need to reload, but can I do a below the belt?
Sure. So you can make athletics or guile. Mm-hmm. And then they need to resist toughness or be gutted.
I will go for guile. And I got a 25, so I succeed.
Oof. Okay. Let's see if they're going to beat that with toughness. Yeah, unfortunately, they are tough enough in order to be able to succeed. So you reach out to hit below the belt, and the kick glances off of a kneecap, so it does not make the desired contact. Okay. All right. Anything else you'd like to do?
I think I actually do need to load my weapon, so I'll use my last AP to do that.
Okay. And how many AP does reloading your weapon take?
1.
Okay. So you'll spend your final AP to reload. One of this fella's allies is going to hop out of the shadows from near behind you and is going to try and take a stab at you with his knife because you have shot his friend. So, it's gonna roll. Oh, yes. There it is. That's a 3. So that's definitely going to hit. And that does a total of 7 damage to you. So on your damage tracker, does that hit any of your thresholds?
So, for damage thresholds, is that the +6, +12, and +18 stuff?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it does not hit them.
Okay, it doesn't. So he's got that knife, is going to... Let's see. All right, and is then going to use his... He's going to use the rest of his AP to go ahead and try and disengage from you. So that will just be moving away. Maneuver. Yep, maneuver 3 yards away, avoiding all counterattacks. All right, who would like to go next?
Felicity sees the one that is behind, that jumped up from behind Wynn, and is going to actually cast a spell. Wild.
All right.
She's casting Bludgeon with Elements. So she literally
Okay.
just she says the spell. This requires like one of the 4 elements, so she's using air. So all she says is, spirits aid me, and with a breath of air, I'm going to attempt to gut, like almost like take the wind out of him, essentially.
Right.
So I make an
Right,
incantation
but with magic.
roll. Yes.
Awesome.
See if I get this. I'm gonna use one of our rerolls because that was a 95. That would have been really bad.
Oof.
You don't want to
Oh,
know what
dear.
happens when magic messes up.
Yeah, it's not great.
It's not great. Much better. That is a 25.
Yeah, that's a successful incantation test.
Yeah.
So does he
uh,
get to resist from that, or is he just straight up gutted now?
No, he is straight up gutted. I know, mommy's casting magic.
Okay.
He must spend 1 additional AP for movement actions until the end of combat.
Okay, got it. And that was a knife dude. Awesome.
Yes. Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh yes, he is unable to defend or resist its effects. Okay. So and we all get 3 AP each round. Okay, so that was 1, and then Felicity is then going to draw her knife, and then bank the last one to whichever person just kind of gets back up in the carriage. She's gonna try and stab him.
3 AP.
Yeah. That's my turn.
So at this point, just so I'm clear, did they grab Mary yet, or they failed?
All right. Go ahead and make me a
Oh, I don't think, Anna, you heard that.
simple melee.
Just ask again, Jeff. I think her intent.
Oh yeah. So my question was, I missed it earlier. Did they actually grab? Did they grab Mary or no?
Anna, can you hear us?
Maybe it's me.
No, we can hear you fine.
Oh, okay.
They are trying to grab her, but they have not gotten her yet.
Got it. Okay.
I can hear you.
I think there's just
I think it's a
some
longer
serious
delay than
lag.
usual.
There we go. Sorry, that was my internet having a really hard time because apparently it's on the side of my players, which okay, internet, but don't hurt me like this. So I'm so sorry, but I got the last thing that I got was Felicity saying wanting to do something with a knife, I think.
And then I said I have my knife.
Okay. And then I heard Jeff speaking, but I didn't catch anything that you said.
Yeah, I was just asking if they had grabbed her yet. You said they were attempting to grab her. Gotcha.
Yes, they are attempting. An attempt being made.
So if no one else is going, I'll go ahead and take my action now.
For sure.
Go for it. I'll
Okay.
just be sticking with Mary. I'm not a combatant, but
So I'm
Okay.
going to step forward and try and put myself in between, Mary and them, and try and use a knockdown. I'm just going to double hand shove the guy trying to grab her to push him down.
Awesome. All right, so you can make an athletics or coordination, and the foe must resist coordination or be knocked down. So let's see
All
how
right.
coordinated this guy is.
So this is going to be terrible, but let's give it a shot. I did it!
Oof. So he failed his
Rolled a
roll, but
I rolled a 28 and made mine. Shockingly.
oh, I'm not going to use a misfortune because I probably am not going to beat that anyway. So yeah, you are going to succeed in knocking this guy down. So he's prone. He's not defenseless right now. So you didn't knock him unconscious, but he is knocked down and he's going to have to spend extra AP to get up. Cool. What
So,
else would you like to do?
So now I want to go. So I've knocked this guy down. I'm going to pull my cross out from inside my pocket and hold it aloft. And I want to go and use words as weapons to try and intimidate the group of them.
Great.
I'm going to kind of just yell out, my principle is and my practices have always been to seek peace and ensure it and to follow after righteousness and the knowledge of God. But my friends, not so much. Be gone with ye.
I would like
Awesome.
to assist in that intimidation, if I could be so kind.
Sure thing. Tell me how you're going to assist, and then we will make that roll.
I would like to remove glasses and show off the heterochromia and just sort of flip the knife that I keep in my pocket. Just, and like Tomcat smile as he says, my friends, not so much.
Nice.
Oof, nice. So Jacob, go ahead and make that roll, but you will roll 2 of your percentile dice and take whichever one is the lower one. So basically you get to take the lower tens place of those 2 rolls.
And I'm sorry, I'm rolling that against what skill?
You are rolling for words as weapons. You are trying to intimidate them.
I see.
You would use
I found it. Got it. All right. So we'll see if my terrible intimidate skill pays off here.
You got this. Also, Anna, I believe you have to assign an AP cost to my assist. It says it varies, so.
Yeah, we'll have that. You were just speaking. We'll have that be just a 1. You're not trying to do something super complicated or complex, so you basically can spend an AP to assist in this test.
Gotcha.
So thank you for the assist, because that pushed it over the edge. So yeah, 18. So yeah, I did it.
Oh, wow. All right. So remind me again what intimidated does to them.
So I believe that means they suffer a -1 to their damage and peril thresholds till the end of combat.
Oof. That is wicked. All right. Anything else you would like to do?
I'm going to bank my additional AP just in case.
Okay. Awesome. Let's see.
Do you want to
interpose
the attackers, or?
Yeah, I was about to say one of them is going to go after. One of them is going to draw and attempt to shoot at Jacob, who is now towering over the person who was their leader, essentially with this cross. So he's going to pull out his flintlock pistol and attempt to shoot here. Oh wow, that's a critical success to shoot. Oh. So we're gonna roll 2d6 here. That it is a weak weapon. So if you take injuries from this, you won't be instantly
This is a weak person. So there we go.
So backup character.
All right. All right. Jacob, did you have any banked AP?
I do have 1 banked AP.
Okay. Oh, unfortunately, what I was going to be like, oh, you could use this is not going to work for this situation. My bad. So that's going to be 13 physical peril. So on your damage threshold area, what box does that hit?
That takes me, so my first box is an 11, so it takes me past my first box.
Okay, past your first box, so you mark yourself down as lightly wounded as this bullet just like clips off the side of your arm that's holding the cross, and it's just like, even though the intimidation is working, this person is determined to get a hold of Mary at all costs. Isabel, I think you had something up next. Ish.
Isabel is very clearly not a fighter and has been sticking around Mary, and as soon as the people started to attack, she did draw a dagger, which is a weapon she's holding awkwardly, but is trying to stay near Mary and looking around to look for an out more than anything. But
all right,
since you said someone is trying to grab Mary, that is who she will try and slash at.
All right, so you are making an attack there. Yeah, go ahead and make me a simple melee roll. Uh-oh.
83. So no.
Would you like
this is
to
called
spend a
Cthulhu
coin?
all over again.
I know.
I've rolled like twice under 20. That's fine. If it's okay with you guys that I'm using it from the pool, because we only have 2 left, and I know I've already used 2 of them.
Just do it.
I want to be useful, please. I'm rerolling. 64. That's still not it. Still not it.
Unfortunately, no. That is going to miss.
Colin, you will have to make up for this somehow.
Somehow. We don't know how yet, but somehow you will.
I don't know how yet, but I'll think of something.
All right. You got, I believe, 2 AP left. Anything else you'd like to do on your turn?
None of the spells I have are any use either. I'm going to bank them.
All right. Sounds good. Out from the back shadows area, one of the combatants is going to take a shot at Wynn, because you were the first person that initiated, and they're like, let's stop this. Let's stop this. That's a critical fail. I'm gonna go ahead and use one of my misfortune points to reroll that. And that was still terrible. It was yet another fail. Yeah. So, this person, busy being intimidated by this otherwise not very imposing Quaker holding a cross now and bleeding from the arm that he's holding it out. The shot just rings out and goes wide. Let's see, who have we got up next? I believe Pharaoh and Felicity. Have you all taken any action yet? Anybody there I'd like to go?
I still have 2 AP points since all I did was assist.
Yep.
So I believe that Pharaoh will fire their flintlock pistol at somebody. Let's say the one that was watching the house.
Okay, so that's the one that's currently lying on the ground prone. So when you make your combat test for that, that will be an easy test, plus 20, because you're trying to shoot someone who is on the ground.
Sucks to be
pretty
him.
much at point
and being held there.
Plus 20. I definitely need the help. Yeah. So that is, with that plus 20, my score is a 57, and I rolled a 55, so it just barely works.
You crit on that, though, which means you roll an extra dice. Yeah. You are rolling your 6 dice instead of just that, and adding your combat bonus. Also, just because this is a thing that people tend to forget, you can use one of those fortune coins to automatically explode one of the dice to a 6. It's up to you.
No, because I don't want to like flat out murder this guy. I mean, I
Okay.
will, but
Well, his
Okay.
threshold's at -1 right now too, so
Yeah.
yeah. So 2d6 I'm rolling plus my combat bonus. Yeah. Awesome.
And any
That
6s you roll
is-
explode.
No 6s. That's a 3 and a 4 plus 3, so 10.
That is actually... Yeah, that's gonna bump him down to an injury. Let me find that table. So he is now moderately injured. Yep, from getting shot. So, Pharaoh, I'm gonna go ahead and have you roll a D100. So we roll randomly on this table and see how this person got injured.
That is a 19.
Okay. Oof. Looks like you shot this person in the hand and has broken their fingers. They are bleeding. Until fully recuperated, must succeed at coordination tests to load and quick load ranged weapons. So as this bullet just smashes into the hand, and a heavy musket bullet from this time, also very much not a piercing thing. It's designed to break bones. And this guy just lets out a "Ah!" like as his knuckles are just turning into mush in this muddy ground beside him. The other Masons the other agents kind of look at each other and just unsure whether they should stick around. Actually, I'm going to make them a test because they're already intimidated to see if any of them run away.
Oh, shit, they loaded.
Resolve test here.
Pharaoh will say after shooting, see, now you should have listened to Brother Allen.
All right. They succeeded on their resolve test. So they are sticking around for the time being.
Cool. Felicity is going to, if there's one still trying to grab for Mary in the carriage, I think Isabel and Mary are together, so Felicity's gonna just like kind of squeeze past them to the guy at the door. And I saw someone mention in the chat about below the belt. Felicity's going for below the belt. Just knee and or foot, whichever.
Look, I see what you did there. Well done, but also why? All right, go ahead and roll.
I make an athletics or a guile test,
Athletics or guile.
which I will be making an athletics. Yes.
Toughness.
That's a 20 on my 40.
All right, they still succeeded on their toughness test. So again, you try and hit below the belt. This one is just kind of a really...
Can I use one of my coins to make you reroll and take the worst one?
I don't think so, but I don't see why not. So sure,
Your
that
call.
just means I get to do this new thing with mine. That's more fun. So yeah, I'll reroll.
We don't have
Same
to
thing.
do this.
Still rolled a 34. So yeah, no, this guy is a big beefy agent, and again, just sort of like, seems kind of shrugs this off, a punch to the gut, almost as though it's just a mosquito bite. A mild inconvenience. Well,
That was only
before we
1
continue
AP.
on with oh wow, before we continue on with everybody here below the belting our various agents to death, I wanted to thank Tabletop Horde and LFM Network for the raids, Vivi for the sub, and the anonymous cheerer who cheered us 100 bits. Thank you all so much. Welcome to the stream. We're just in the middle of a fight. All right. So that person that you unceremoniously tried to below the belt is going to take out their knife and try and make a slash at you.
Anna, she only did
Yes.
1 HP.
I only did the one. Yeah.
Oh, I'm
Below the
so
belt's only
sorry.
one.
Yeah.
It's okay. You're good. I was like, yeah. And then you're like, and he's gonna be like, wait, but I'm not done yet.
No. Please interrupt me. I'm galaxy braining over here.
It's cool. No, Felicity gets real close, tries to knee him in the gut, fails, so she brings back her knife, and she's gonna attempt to stab him in the shoulder.
Okay.
And how do I roll to hit? How do I do
Just whatever your simple melee
Stab,
is.
if
Beat
it's
that
just a
number.
knife, it's simple
Simple
melee.
melee.
Oh, sorry.
No, you get
Roll to stab.
roll to stab.
Let me sit right there.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
We only have one more. I love you. Please stop. We only have one more coin left. I rolled a 90. Should I just take the L, or should I use our last coin? I don't think it's worth it. I'm gonna leave it. So yeah, Felicity tries to stab this guy, get mostly his coat, none of him, and but is gonna stand in front of him and just with their like glasses like skewed a little bit, just like fuck off. Not like that though. Fucking
All right. Okay. And are you banking your last AP?
Yes, I am.
All right. So that one that you just went after is now going to attempt to put you in a chokehold because he did not like being kicked at and then also stabbed. So I'm gonna. You've got to resist with athletics, and he's going to make a toughness test against you.
Is there a
yes.
chance I can help? Because I do have 2 AP banked and I'm standing with Mary and Felicity as well.
Yeah, tell me how you want to help out.
So when he's trying
As
to
this
grab
guy-
Felicity, I think I will
Mhm.
just screechingly kind of hang myself from his back and trying to pull him away from her. She's a very
Okay.
slender, very, very lithe woman, goddess to me, so that's not much, but it's something. It might be enough of a distraction.
Okay, all right. So that'll give Felicity that extra percentile die, and you will get to keep whatever the better tens roll is for you. Well, my guy failed, so I'm going to use a misfortune coin to re-roll, because that was abysmal.
I got a 25.
Man, Anna, you weren't
God.
Anna, you weren't lying. Your rolls are tough as
My
nails
rolls
tonight.
are terrible. I failed
The two of
again.
us are
All
just
right. So this
Spread the
giant
contagion.
dude, after getting kicked and stabbed at, is failing to even just touch you with bare hands. He's gonna go ahead and make a.
She's a pretty brawny lady, surprisingly. She's underneath that jacket. Like,
Evidently.
she got some guns, but also Isabel is on the back just screeching. This guy is just having a time.
I love this so much. I love this so much. All right, so
Are we worth the hardship at this point?
he's gonna go ahead and try and slash out at you with the knife, failing to lay hands on, and that is a success. So you will take. Oh, really? Well, darn. You're gonna take 8 points of damage for that. Does that beat any of your thresholds?
I mean, it beats my first one, but not the +6. Not the first one.
Okay, so if it beats your first one, then you will move down to lightly wounded, as this is a shallow but still cut that is welling up with blood inside of you where you got hit with this knife. And he's gonna bank the last AP. Just in case y'all get any ideas, because currently Isabel is scrabbling onto this guy's back, so I'm giving him a chance to maybe try and resist.
Isabel, you're screaming. All I can think of was, I hear the banshee scream. You're just hanging on him. This is great. I'm all done.
All right,
We're all done.
who would like to go next? Jacob, what are you doing now? Or Win? Yeah, it's been a little bit. Either or.
Yeah, okay. I'm gonna kind of run up to the guy that's trying to attack Felicity, and can I kind of motion for Isabel to kind of get off his back?
Get down from there.
It's up to Isabel whether she decides to get off or not, but yes.
Isabel, you can see Win pulling something from her like side satchel.
If you are then also aiming at him, I would try and get out of the way if you allow me to. I can roll something to see if I notice it in time.
Well, she would have kind of like come up behind you. What she's pulling out of her out of her pack is something that came with it is a garrote. And so she's going up behind him and trying to put him in a chokehold with the garrote.
You know what? Let's just say he actually knocks Isabel away, and she falls flat on her ass, which gives you the way in to garrote him from the other side.
Okay.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah.
All right. So I believe garrote is a simple melee roll for you.
It is. Also, I wanted to mention, Win is actually like 6'3". She's extremely tall, so she probably wouldn't have to like jump or anything to get up there.
Nope. Taller than this guy.
Yeah. Okay. So I got a 100, so I'm gonna use one of the rerolls.
Probably smart.
This time I got a 36 instead.
So is that a success for you for your melee attack?
Yeah.
All right, awesome. So tell me again what it is that the garrote is going to do. Does it have any other flavor besides that, or are you just rolling your d6 of damage?
It's just rolling d6 of damage, I believe.
Okay, so roll your d6 for me and add
sometimes.
bonus. Yeah,
There's a what?
the garrote. The garrote can never kill you, basically.
It's a silent and strangling weapon.
Yeah.
That's what it is, yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna roll my d6, add 4. So that is 10 damage.
So you rolled a 6. That explodes, which means you roll it yet again. How would you like to, basically incapacitate this guy with the garrote?
So what I wanted to do was use the 1 AP for the garrote and then another AP to chokehold him, but to do them together.
Okay, yeah, just narrate for me because you've done enough damage with the dice to totally knock this guy out. So yeah, just narrate to me how you want you. Yeah.
Well, I want to pull him to the ground, but like not on top of Felicity.
Okay. All right, so you've got this giant agent here that you have just snuck up behind, and you're almost like looking down to the top of this guy's head. It's maybe like 5'10". You've got easily a good half a foot on him, and just slip the garrote around his neck. And as the rest of them see their biggest, strongest person slowly beginning to like choke and lose consciousness as you are garroting the air right out of them, they quickly turn tail and run off, scattering into the night.
Nice.
Now you gentlemen enjoy the rest of your night, huh?
What about the one that
I
Jake
must
to the top
say. Oh, the one with the
Say that again, I'm sorry. Oh, yeah, had scrabbled up and just kind of run away injuredly in the kerfuffle. But yeah, they're gone. They're long gone now.
Cool.
Well. I have to say that since I've been up north, I have heard tell that the Hamiltons were scrappy, but my word.
Well, I'm nothing like the other Hamiltons.
Good. I like being the talkative one. Isabel, Madam Cross, are y'all all right?
Just a cut on the arm. That's the wrong accent. I just got a little blood. I'll be fine with some, a little bandage.
Isabel
Wonderful.
gets up from the wet grass and just dusts herself off and nods. Mary?
All right,
Well,
then.
Mary, are you alright?
Yes, thankfully. Well, they're certainly more rough and tumble than you look. Well, some of you anyway. Significant look over at Wynn, who's just garroted a man. Back to Jacob with newfound respect for this guy. Right,
Jacob's bleeding, from his arm, but his thought immediately when the people scatter was, oh no, we're shooting guns in the middle of the night. So I'm starting to scan around to make sure no one's coming. I'm kind of on high alert at the moment.
Yeah. This is certainly going to be something we'd better do quickly.
We should keep moving. I think I can take care of that, and I think both Felicity and Jacob have an injury. Is that true?
Yes.
I got my own bandages. I can help myself. You should definitely help the brother there, though. He looks a little
no.
more out than in.
Once we get to the boat, we can worry about it.
Yes, and she has a quick look if he lets her, and it's going to be fine for an hour. It's just a superficial, but we need to get away.
Quick question.
Mm-hmm.
Do we know if the rebels have any signia or sign that is kind of associated with them?
There would be the sort of classic join or dive, the snake, the don't tread on me if the Gadsden flag. But nothing. Do you mean you're looking for, what is it that you're trying to suss out by looking for a sign?
So what I mean is there something that I can copy and write a fake note on and put it in the pocket of the guy that I just garroted?
Oh, interesting. I'm gonna have you make me let me see. You're a counterfeiter. You're attempting to counterfeit something that you have not done before. I'm gonna have you go ahead and make me a challenging counterfeit test. Because you're attempting to draw from memory or hearsay something that you think would be associated with the rebellion. So that would be a -10 to whatever your ability is. And also, I should mention, just because I forgot to at the very end of combat, you've taken 2 conflict for garroting that guy, because that takes a toll on you emotionally.
I mean, that's fair. Well,
Yeah.
Okay, so I got exactly what I needed to succeed.
Okay, so what exactly are you putting on this paper in addition to a symbol of the rebellion?
So on one side, I want to kind of draw whatever that flag was that you had mentioned, and then on the back, write something regarding some random mission for the rebels in Boston. Something completely made up that has nothing to do with anything that we're doing, and kind of slip it in the front pocket of the or a pocket of one of the garroted man.
Okay.
Are you also going through their stuff to see if there's any information as to why they would be kidnapping Mary?
Yes,
'Cause
I will do
might be
that
a
as
good
well.
call.
Okay. Whoop. Make sure that I have my actual correct tab pulled up here. Go ahead and give me a... Yeah, so you notice on the pinky finger of this man a ring that has a strange symbol on it. It looks like maybe something to do with building materials, surveying equipment. Anyone who would like to can give me a... You can give me a challenging education roll or folklore roll. So that would be... No, wait, sorry. A hard education roll or folklore roll. So that would be the -20.
Okay. The one thing
I
I'm good at.
recognize
Let's
what
see.
this means.
Is that all of us?
Anyone who wants to, sure.
Is it something based in Boston?
You'd have to roll to find out.
Okay.
It's not something
I was
that
gonna
you
say
recognize just easily.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah. Well, I was just gonna say if it was from Boston, if I got some sort of something for it, but that's fine.
Yeah, you don't really get any sense that this has to do with the city. It's not like the Fanway Hall thing that you had with the grasshopper.
Got it.
For
So
my
guess who rolled a
10th
99?
place. Oh, well, hey, guess what? I rolled double zeros and a 1, so I got a 1%.
Holy crap! Okay.
And thus there is balance.
Wow.
It's funny too because
Just-
Anna always rolls average, and between the two of us is balance, and it all works out
Exactly.
in the
Look
end.
at that. Magic.
I'm so mad right now, but I'm also so pleased. Pharaoh.
Yes.
You're going over and over this symbol, what it could possibly mean in your mind. Something to do with this angled bracket of like a square edge and a compass, a source for surveying. And for some reason, you've heard whispers of a society secretly operating in the shadows of cities around the 13 colonies, of artisans and crafters who call themselves the Freemasons. And you recognize this as their insignia.
I wanna put a hand over on young Miss Mary and say, some very dangerous people looking for you, little lady. I think we should,
Well, then we've really got no time to waste.
That is correct. I can fill you all in when we get to the boat, but I suddenly feel a lot less comfortable being out in the streets.
Take the rings.
All right.
If they all have them, we might be able to use them at some point.
Perhaps. I'll pocket a Freemason ring, which is happening a lot earlier in this game than I thought I would.
Me too.
And
Felicity's gonna go ahead and take a Freemason ring, but probably for opposite
Well,
reasons.
there's only the one.
Oh, that's right.
There's only the one guy who was left behind. Everybody else ran off into the shadows. It was the rotted dude that you were looking at.
I remember this, and then I forgot.
Yeah. Adrenaline, it happens. Okay. All right.
Now, the guy that Wynn choked out is just unconscious, right? He's not dead, correct?
He's still breathing. For now. But he's also got a couple of stab wounds in him from someone, I believe, so...
Is there some place nearby where we can kind of, move him out of the middle of the street?
Yeah, you can move him out of the middle of the street, and Mary will help you basically, drag him, down a dark alleyway or something. She's like, we have to go. It's been some time since I last heard the bells toll midnight. We don't have much time for me to get to Uncle Adam. Please, we have to get out of here.
We'll get you there in one piece, I promise.
So, rushing away from the scene of unexpected bloodshed on the dark streets of Boston, you make it to Bull's Wharf, just as you can hear the bells of Boston's North Church tolling 1 a.m. Looking around, you see several small boats and sloops tied to the dock, bobbing up and down in the pitch-dark water of Boston Harbor, only light coming from the moon. You hear the sound of the water sloshing against the side of the boats and the scent of salt water mixed with sewage runoff, and in the distance, 3 characters dressed in dark clothes, waiting next to a rowboat. You hear the click of a pistol hammer cocking into place as one of them holds onto it, and Mary rushes forward to the man in the center. Uncle Adam, thank goodness, and she gives him a big ol' hug. This appears to be her escort.
I believe I have something for you.
For very quick clarification, this is probably the last time we'll see her. We are not supposed to go with her, right?
Just escort, correct. Yep, just a delivery.
Have a quick talk to Mary if I can at some point, pull her aside, but you go first, Pharaoh.
Yeah, absolutely.
That works because I'd like to grab the attention of Uncle Adam and produce the letter that I have in my jacket. I was told to give this to you. You know, there's some very dangerous people coming after your niece.
Oh, yes. So you've heard of the Brotherhood yourself.
Only in the darker shadows. Do you mind if I hazard and ask as to why?
Why they're following her? Why they're following our family? Truth is, I'm not entirely sure. At first, we definitely thought it was because of my brother's political views and his involvement with the Continental Congress, but these are more persistent than redcoats tend to be. Anyhow, and he pulls his 5 pounds of your payment out of the pocket of his coat after taking the letter. Thanks very much for bringing here safe. I know our friend Philip the Short will be very glad to know that her niece is safely stowed across the harbor.
Yes, absolutely. Make sure that you keep in touch. I hear that the Pullmans might be looking to expand a bit, and I'm a good contact to keep if that were ever the case.
Of course. And we won't forget the service that y'all have rendered to our family.
Darling.
Like to take care
That's all
of those who
Pharaoh
have
had to
helped us out. All right, Isabel.
While they're talking, she'll probably use the idea of just, checking Mary for injuries or something like that. And she pulls out a letter she's held close to her heart, actually. Very crumpled and well read. Miss Pullman, I wanted to thank you personally. I don't know why you decided to use your good name and your reputation to help me, but I am very much in your debt.
No trouble at all, Miss Mackenzie. Those of us with unorthodox talents must stick together, mustn't we?
I was wondering
Anyway, I was
if that
happy
was
to do
maybe
a
the
good
case. If you ever need me again, that debt is not yet paid. I have not been here for long. I don't know the new world and its ways, but where I come from, something like that is not as easily forgotten.
And I'll never forget your kindness to me and my family. Thank you.
Thank you.
And she goes to board the rowboat with her Uncle Adam as they quietly and silently slip away, Mary Pullman safe in the dark waters of Boston Harbor for now. Cut back to, camera's eye view of the street where you had left the garroted man, whom you now know to be an agent of the Freemasons. It's now the wee hours of the morning. People are beginning to wake up. Lamplighters going out, extinguishing the oil lamps lighting the streets. A commotion begins as the body of an unconscious, bleeding, wounded man is found down a side alleyway. And someone emerges from the crowd of people going, "Oh, what could have happened here? What is it? What can we do?" And he's like, "It's all right. It's all right. This is my brother. I'll make sure he's taken care of." And a man with a heavily bandaged, mangled-looking right hand, blood seeping through, goes and checks the right pinky finger of his unconscious comrade. And that is where we are going to end our first episode of Boston Besieged.
Yes.
Oh my god!
Wow.
Wonderful.
What a time, y'all.
I have a feeling you did not expect me to have a garrote.
I should have, because I talk all the time about how that is me, Anna's favorite weapon in all of the Zweihander system. Like, that is my favorite thing to use, and it's different having it used against you as the historian, as the GM. I'm like, now I know why I like this so much as a player. So, how are we all doing? What did you think? Thank you very much, chat, for the raids and the subs and the bits and the conspiracy theories that I see people scrolling through.
Anna, did you use that bane
Thank
that we got in the last stretches, or is that something we are beginning with next time?
Oh, yes, I should specify. The bane is the fact that your friend with the mangled hand came back and has now
That's what I
noticed that
thought.
his brother's ring is gone, and
That's what
you
I
gather
thought.
he's probably going to find a certain planted letter in the jacket pocket of his friend. So that is the bane. Thank you, Chaos Chorus, because, again, as much as I hate cliffhanger endings as a player, I couldn't resist, and you gave me 30 retweets, so I didn't have to. Thank you. So yeah, just acquiring some, or attracting some attention very early on. I'm so proud. I'm
Well,
so
that's kind of
proud.
what I do. Make
Yeah.
the procession where I go. It's a little unavoidable.
See, that's
Worst
not how he was
spies ever.
supposed to.
Yeah, well, you know. Good times.
Well, I wanted to thank all of you very much for playing. We will go around. Let's go in the opposite order this time. So we will start to my digital right with D.
Oh, hi.
Let us know any final thoughts you had out today. Tell us where we can find you, what projects you're working on, and yeah, anything else that you'd like to share.
Well, hello there. I'm D, or Devaler Riddler, however you choose to call me. I am a musician, Twitch streamer, voice actor. I play Julian in Woodsy Studios' Crimson Spires, which is available on Steam. If you want to go pick that up, it's a visual novel murder mystery. I stream on my channel. I am in chat. It's the Riddler. And you can catch me next in about 15 minutes over on Madame Gandalf's channel, where I'll be playing a game of Cult, which is a horror TTRPG. So, yeah, it's me. This was a blast. I'm so excited to play Pharaoh.
Fantastic. Yes. Fenway, how are you? Where can we find you? Any projects you'd like to share with us?
Absolutely. So some of you may know I am the founder of Jasper's Game Day. We are a nonprofit organization that raises money for suicide prevention through gaming. And so with that, I do a lot of things. You can find me on Twitter at FenwayTeenDM or Jasper's Game Day. And I also just started my own YouTube show on Jasper's Game Day YouTube, where I talk about mental health and how it affects gaming and how gaming affects mental health. So go check that out.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. And Jeff.
So this was great. I am loving it so far. Fantastic. I'm really looking forward to next episode already. Those of you that are interested, you can also find me on Twitter at the Mighty Gerd. Pretty much, I'll pimp out all my projects there. I'm an actor, voiceover guy, podcaster, fitness advice guy. I do all sorts of stuff, and I also try and play in as many Jasper's Game Day streams as I can, because that's awesome as well. So yeah, I'm super stoked, super happy.
Fantastic. And Nikki, hello.
Hi.
Someone in whom I played with a very different type of game the first time we played games together.
The first time we played was in the biweekly one shot, which I'll pimp out here. Hi, I'm Nikki. You can follow me at the Week DM on Twitter. I do a lot of different things. Not tomorrow night. Tomorrow's Wednesday. I don't do anything on Wednesday. I sleep. I run a Twitch channel called Slady's ATL. We run a Sailor Moon style campaign that is every Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you guys want to check that out, information about that is on my Twitter. Next Tuesday, after this, next Tuesday, I will be playing in Saving Face, which is another campaign out of Graphic Studios, where I play a very feisty bard. We are currently dealing with some fae and some shenanigans. That is my son in the background. If you can hear him, he's excited about Pokemon. He's the light of my life. And I do a lot of different things. The bi-weekly one-shots. Every other Monday on Final Show Films, I run a game for a bunch of bisexual individuals. The next one coming up is November 23rd, so be on the lookout for that. This was super duper fun. I love it. I love playing a Southern lady. It's nice, because I am. I get to let the drawl out. It's great.
I am desperately in love with all your accents, so that's wonderful. And I'm Lydia, Half-Hour's Hermit, and I'm mostly on Encounter Roleplay, I believe, at the moment. Yeah, it's just obviously this wonderful game, which I'm very, very excited to find out how it will progress and how Isabel will come out of her shell a little bit and relate to all these wonderful larger-than-life characters that you have created. I am also here on Mondays for Song of the Deep, which is a D&D campaign, 5e Snowhaven. We're using that supplements basically snowpunk. So think, yeah, I know, steampunk, but like colder. And we are just about to enter the Yeti village, so that's going to be fun. That is on Mondays, 8 p.m. EST. And right after, I swear to God, anyone mention the Gunhammer thing, I will smite you. With the Gunhammer, no. But right after we move over from here to Critical Mrs. channel for a little talk of the deep, because we cannot stop talking about this wonderful show. So you should definitely check Anita out as well, Critical Mrs. on Twitch right here. And please do join our Encounter Roleplay server if you want to. Yeah, Dan, I see you in chat. You were not helping. I mean, you were helping, but not me, and that's what I take personally. But join the Discord server for all these shenanigans. A, to find out what this bloody Gunhammer business is all about, and B, it's where we post our casting calls, where we discuss our shows. We have our own channel for the Flames of Freedom Boston Besieged show as well. So if you want to talk to any of us, if you want to talk to our lovely GM Anna, that's where you want it to happen. You also can join casting calls coming up, and of course chat with the community, so do check that out. And that's me for now. Over to Anna.
It's almost like you could say our Discord is the chat room where it happened. Which, speaking of Discord, allows me to remind all of you that if you took any clips today of anything that you particularly enjoyed, or weird faces that we made, please make sure to post those links in our Clips channel of the Discord, so that you may have somebody's weird face immortalized into a GIF, or you might even win the prestigious Clip of the Week title, which comes with bragging rights forever. And that is all. But you know we love bragging rights around here. My name is Anna. I have been your historian for this show. You can find me pretty much everywhere on the internet at Nymeria941. I do all of the tabletop role-playing games streaming things, and when I'm not streaming them, I'm working on helping get this wonderful Flames of Freedom game designed and ready for its publication very soon. I also stream in a Zweihander game on the Chromatic Chimera channel. It's called Bloody Portrait, and it is very different. It takes place in Renaissance Florence, and there are vampires and bloodsuckers, and I play a sort of evil, very corrupted young astrologer turned warlock that has a demon daddy. It's complicated. And then I will also be back on Chromatic Chimera this Sunday for Awakened Pixels. I'm going to be guesting on this amazing show that is all about video game sprites and characters that have become self-aware, realize that they are in video games, and can now control the game around them. So it's a little bit like Wreck-It Ralph, if you've seen that. I'm going to be playing a character that is an avatar from a collectible card game video game. you shall see how it works. So if you have made it this far and you're watching on YouTube, please leave us a comment telling us how much you love Hans the donkey, who, despite the way all of our amazing players acquitted themselves, was my favorite part of that chase scene, personally. So, like, Hans runs marathon away from the redcoats over here. Once again, I wanted to thank all of our amazing sponsors. We have quite a lot of them. I will be putting the link to the various systems that are sponsoring us in chat. We've got the Zweihander sponsorship, as well as iHunt. Make sure not to miss iHunt tomorrow. It is a millennials gig monster hunting thing. And before that, we are also going to have the return of our one-shot Wednesdays. We will be playing, I wrote this down because I knew I was not going to remember the name at the end of 3 hours, Shinobi Gami Modern Ninja Battle RPG, right before that, with iHunt afterwards. Speaking of iHunt, we are actually about to go raid Savvy over at Game Nights. She is the GM for iHunt tomorrow, so get a little taste of what she is like as a GM. What shall our raid cry be? What shall our raid cry be? Hans is the best donkey. All right. Well, thank you all very, very much for watching. We will see you next time on Encounter Roleplay with some more great storytelling. Bye!